Okay, hi guys, how are you? I hope you're fine. My name is Jacqueline-Francis, author, award-winning speaker, and educator. And today you're on my show called Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet. Now, I will be having a special guest in today, and her name is Liz Walsh. And if you just bear with me while I try to invite her into the broadcast, um, so so we can get things started. So hopefully we will not be having any technical issues today, as I really would like you to hear what she has to say. Okay, okay, Liz, just bear with me. Bear with me and I'll see if I can bring you in. If not, then we can just jump off and jump back on again. So that's not a problem. Okay, so just bear with me while I try to bring Liz into the broadcast. So how have you all been doing? How's your week going? Actually, it's not even saying anything yet. Hold on, just bear with me, Liz. Okay, I can see that you're watching. Great, fantastic. So let's just see if I can bring you in now. I'm just going to add you now, Liz. Okay, so just add now. So you just need to accept the invitation. So yes, so my show is called Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet, and that's what a lot of us. Oh, hi,
Hello, I'm
hi.
sideways.
Wow. Can you turn your phone around, or did you manage to change your settings? There we go.
Is that better?
Yes, that's much better. It's a bit
Great.
blurry,
Yeah, I've
but
noticed that.
can
I'm
you
not
see me?
quite sure why. I can see you very clearly. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. We'll just go with it anyway. So I'll just introduce. So glad that you made it on anyway. Because sometimes we can have some technical difficulties. So, yes. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Jacqueline Francis. I'm an author, award winning speaker, and educator. And I've created this platform called Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet because it's something that I've done in the past where I had issues with my siblings and I just didn't talk to people about it. And that went on for decades. So, stop sweeping it under the carpet. It's as it says on the tin, stop sweeping things under the carpet. Something that you may have an issue with that's causing you some sort of emotional turmoil or stress, or just stopping you from moving on with your life, simply because you've stopped, you've swept it under the carpet. So today I'm so happy that I have Liz Walsh, my special guest. Yay! So she's going to join me today, and we'll be talking about things with regards to how she um, went through a series of stress and depression and anxiety. And we'll also be talking about induced menopause. And lastly, if we've got enough time, we'll be talking about her relationship with her father. So, Liz, if you can just introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, Jacqueline. Well, firstly, thank you so much for inviting me to this live. It's my first live, so this is actually part of my healing journey. So thank you.
You're
So my name's
welcome.
Liz Walsh. Thank you. My name's Liz Walsh. I've worked in the IT recruitment field for about 20 years. A mother, 21. A bit of a snapshot of my background. I grew up in the care system from the age of about 6 months old. And throughout my journeys of different adversities, I've gotten to this point of, for the past 6 months, of just really wanting to heal myself inwardly so that I can move on to coaching and mentoring and helping other people outwardly.
Right, okay, thank you for that. I mean, just by what you've just said in your bio, for you, it started quite early, really. If you think about it, 6 months where you were in the care system. I'm not sure whether you want to talk a little bit about that, or whether you can remember anything about that, or how long you were in the care system for, which I guess would have led up to those issues that you were suffering from.
Yeah.
So,
So it was
so
basically from the age of 6 months old as a baby, because my mother suffered from schizophrenia, and my father was quite violent to her at the time. So at the time, I was sort of in and out of different children's homes, and then finally fostered at the age of 10. Um, But from that early age, that's definitely where the kind of sense of low self-worth, low self-esteem came from. And I think ultimately created a lot of the anxiety and depression that I felt later on in years when some big life challenges came up, whether that was through sort of bullying or just that overall stress from situations. And something that really stands out was when about 10 years ago, when I started feeling the first beginnings of anxiety and depression, but I just kept pushing it down and letting it fester, letting it store up. I didn't feel able to talk about it. I felt that it was a sign of weakness, particularly in an environment where you're meant to be outwardly strong and almost act like a machine, you know, sell. So there was no way in my mind that I was going to admit that I was feeling these so-called weak feelings. So
Right.
I
So
just let them.
before you go on, so if we can just take a step back, you said that you realized it from quite earlier on in your years. Can
Yes.
you give an example? Can you give me some sort of example of what were those feelings? What were those, you know, that anxiety that you were feeling? Because I know people feel it in different ways. What was it for you?
For me, it was just, I noticed that paranoia was quite a big aspect of my life. And just feeling that, you know, people were kind of talking or laughing about me or ridiculing me. Um, and I didn't really feel like I kind of belonged as such. You know, I'd be in various situations where there were these cliques, and I always seemed to be the oddball outside of the cliques. And I would always kind of turn that internally. And, you know, why am I the one that's isolated? What's wrong with me? What am I not doing? So I kind of fell into this trap of trying to be perfect and trying to please everyone around me and trying to be more like them so that I could fit in and
Mm,
belong with them. I think that's the most
mm.
notable thing that I remember from early childhood.
So when you say that you tried to fit in and you were never part of that clique, you know, how long did that go on for? Did that, I take it that started at school? Did it start at school or in your adult years? When did that
I
manifest
think it
itself?
started from, yeah, the first children's home that I was put into permanently at 5 years old. I just didn't feel that I just felt alone and like I wasn't like everyone else. And so I would just, you know, try and sort of copy things that they're doing. If they wanted to be a bit naughty, I'd sort, you know, I'll come along, I'll do it. You know, I'm daring, and they'd just kind of make me do the things like, you know, knock on doors and just do silly naughty things, and I'd always be the one that would do it. Yeah, I'll do it. You know, I'll fit in. But
Mm,
little did I know that, you know, that they still use that as an excuse to ridicule me. You know, look at that, you know, kind of doormat. She'll do anything you tell her to. But in my mind, I was trying to fit in. Um,
mm.
yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, that's quite worrying, really, isn't it? So, did that go
Mm.
through when you were at school? Because, you know, when people start school, actually, before I ask that question, are you an only child? Do you have brothers and sisters?
Well, I have a sister, a half sister, so we've got the same mother, but her father was a German sailor. My father's Jamaican. Um,
Mm.
so yeah.
So, she didn't experience any of she didn't go into the care system or anything like that, like yourself, did
So
she?
she did. They sort of separated us because we didn't really get on. We clashed quite a lot.
Oh,
So it
okay.
wasn't until the permanent home when I was 5 that they brought us together, and we just fought like cat and dog. So we didn't really have much of a relationship. It took years for
Mm,
me to actually have a, you know, as I kind of matured, if you like, and you learn about life and things, we are now quite close. But yeah, we were
mm,
never close at all. We just fought a lot. I think maybe we took out sort of angers and frustrations on each other, being, you
mm.
know, as you do, being the closest thing to you, you sort of take everything out on them and lash out on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before I move on, we've got a couple of people that's joined us. Thank you,
Yeah.
Beryl, and is it Sobia? Sobia, I think. I hope I've pronounced it correctly. Yeah, if I'm not sure if you were on the live last night with Maxine, and she had her guest Suzanne, and they were talking about depression and anxiety and things like that. You know, and people. I think she's referring mostly to our young people. So I guess at that time as well, you know, having anxiety, did depression manifest itself then? And were you able to talk openly about it?
Again, no, I just kind of kept it all in and just bottled it up over years and years and years. I didn't ever really talk about it. Um,
Mm,
yeah, and I think that's probably part of why I'm still working on those issues now, so much later on,
mm,
because I
yeah.
never really felt able to open up to anyone about it.
Right, and I think that's why I've created the platforms, because in the bio that you said to me, you've mentioned it, sweeping it under the carpet. You've mentioned it to me in your bio a few times because you have swept these things under the carpet. And, even though you've put it away and you've locked it in a drawer somewhere, it will manifest itself in the way that you are, the things that you do. And as you said that you work in IT and you're in a high-powered job. So being in that job, how did it manifest itself? How did your anxiety or depression or, manifest itself in your job?
So I think thinking back, I think it started with I just always felt on edge all the time. Just little things I'd kind of get panicky over, and I'd always been seen as this kind of calm, cool, collective kind of sales machine woman. And I just started getting more and more overwhelmed about things, and it just progressed and progressed and progressed to the point where I literally felt too scared to go into the office. I just felt so on edge and so jumpy and so like even if someone screwed up a bit of paper close to me, I would
Mm.
almost jump out of my skin. It was just a horrible
Oh,
feeling. And then I got to that place of like avoidance where you're just trying to avoid as many situations and people as you can that make you feel like that. And then the more you do
mm.
that, the more isolated you become, and the more you're seen as a weirdo, and the more it's like a vicious circle.
Yeah.
And the breaking point was I was literally the little bottles you get with the herbal things to calm you down. I think St. John's Worts. I was at a
Yes,
point
yes.
where I was drinking five. You're meant to have a few drops throughout the day. I was having like five of them before I walked into the office just to try and calm myself down. And then I
Mm.
thought, no, this is enough. I just have to stop. And then I just left. It was just beyond, I
Right.
was walking past people and they would cough and I would think they're taking the mickey out of me. It got really extreme.
Yeah. So you described yourself as a machine, you know. So by describing yourself as a machine within the workplace, what did that mean? What were you doing? How explain that term machine? Why did you use that term machine?
In terms of my work rate, I could just work relentlessly all day, every day, and I was doing lots of deals, and nothing could stop me. I was unstoppable. I was strong. I was, this robot almost. And I think part of
So
that
was
as
this,
well was
sorry, was this to mask what you were feeling?
totally. I've now realised that was to both to mask what I was feeling and also past anger from people saying you won't amount to anything. You're awful. You're this. You're that. That anger inside me. No, I'm going to prove them wrong. I am strong. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to prove everyone wrong. That anger also was inside of me.
Right, okay. I'm just going to read a couple of comments that we've got here. Someone from, I don't know who that is, but from Inspire to Achieve TV. So many deal with this in silence, and it feels good to know that it's okay to share. We are stronger together, and you're absolutely right, because I know how I felt when I started to share my story. It was such a relief. Do you know what I mean? You hear people say it was almost as if this weight had been lifted from your shoulders, and I totally agree. Someone said big hugs to both of you. Okay, thank you so much. I'm not quite sure who said that, but thank you so much. Big hugs to both of you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Therese. Is it Therese? Oh yeah, hi. How are you? We need to catch up. So yeah, we do this thing where it's almost as if there's this shame or this embarrassment that we can't open up, and we do sweep things under the carpet. And as you said, look what happened to you. You're trying to, this paranoia that you had, someone coughs and you think something of it, as small as that, you know, um,
Mm.
and we have to be mindful and wary of that, because how did any of those issues have any physical impact on you, as well as emotional and psychological? What impact physically did it have on you, if any?
It did. Yeah, the most notable was fatigue. I just felt so heavy and tired all the time, and I just started losing interest in things, and I just couldn't be bothered. And I talked less and less to my friends. I just, didn't feel in the right frame of mind to talk to them. I felt that I just wanted to be more and more isolated in my own terrible feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course that doesn't help. It just manifests things. Um, you know,
Mm.
I'm aware that we're short on time because we only have about 20 minutes, but I want to talk about the issues that you have with your father as well growing up, um,
Mm.
because I can relate in terms of a blood relative because I've been ostracized and rejected by my siblings, and that went on for many years. So I'm really intrigued as to how people deal with um, issues connected to family members, sisters,
Mm.
brothers, mothers, fathers. How did what was the relationship like with your father? What were the things that he was doing and saying to you?
Mm. Well, it's really strange because it felt like up until the age of around 12, it felt like he did care about me. And he did, he used to visit the children's homes and bring like big bags of fruit and things like that. And, I thought that's his way of trying to, reforge our relationship. But then as soon as I hit teenage years, he just completely switched on me and just thought I was this awful person, was always accusing me of not doing this enough, not doing that enough, not being kind enough to my mum, and just being this rotten person. And even up until today, although he's so much older now, I just try and put an understanding head on it. But I have to almost brace myself to call him, because I'll call him up and he'll be, what do you want? What do you want? And it's like, it just feels so, it still saddens me, because he is getting on a bit. He's in his 80s, and I would just love more than anything to have some sort of relationship where he actually does know the real me, and not this version of this horrible person he thinks I am. And
Mm,
I've been thinking about this, a lot over the years, and especially recently. And I'm now wondering if the reason why he's projecting that hate towards me, if maybe it's because of the guilt of him not raising me. Because I always
right,
wonder, for instance, why I went into care when he has so many sisters over here, and why didn't I go to the family? Why did I have to grow up in care? So
right,
maybe it's from guilt. That's the only thing I can think, because I've tried so hard to repair that relationship, but it's just.
right. Oh, okay. You just froze a bit there. And it's strange because, as you said, your father's in his 80s now, and you'd like to
Mhm.
think that he would like to make amends with his daughter. But we also think about how he was maybe growing up as a child and how his parents may
Mm.
have, affected to the way that he's behaving. We don't know, but we can only be there for them. I just want to read a comment from Therese, which she says, I felt like I couldn't feel the way I felt and kept hiding. It resulted in 3 years of exhaustion. I know now that I was not in alignment with who I truly am. And she says, go
Yeah.
Liz and Jacqueline. Thank you. Of course, yes, definitely. You're constantly on this treadmill trying to
Mm.
please. Um, Therese says she's been doing it for 3 years and it's exhausting. I don't know
Yeah.
how long you've been doing it for or how long you will continue to do it for. Because as Therese says, you have to be in alignment. He has to be willing to make amends. If he is not willing to do that, then I don't want to say that you're wasting your time and your energy,
Mm.
because I'm sure you love your father and you just want things to be well. But how long? I guess it's just like asking how long is a piece of string. I don't know. How long
Yeah.
will you continue to try to get into this alignment with your father?
I think I finally come to the realization that there's not a lot I can do now. But I don't know if you feel this, but I do worry that, if, God forbid, when the day does come that he passes, how, I can't picture myself at the funeral and what I'm going to say and all that sort of stuff. It's really weird. I don't know kind of how I'm going to deal with that situation. But yeah, I'm kind of,
Mm,
I think all I can do is kind of ring and make sure he's okay. I'll have to put up with him, cursing me for no reason and that kind of thing. But at least I making an effort to know he's still okay and doesn't need my help. I think that's the best I can do in my situation. Yeah.
I I think so. You asked how I would deal with it, or not I, maybe with my sisters, but I know because I've written my chapter in Blind Spot Anthology, that was me. It was cathartic for me to do that. That was part of my healing journey for the way that my sisters were treating me. And I wrote an open letter. It may sound strange to somebody, I'm not quite sure, but that was my way of dealing with it. I wrote an open letter, and in that letter, I forgave them, because I
Yeah.
knew that whatever was going on, it wasn't my fault. And as you said, it's not your fault. but why does he treat you the way that he's treated you? So you need to just, I mean, I'm not one for giving advice. I just give my opinion, you know, and what worked for me. And I forgave. And once I forgave, oh, as I said, you know, I was happier. And that's what we want. We want to be happy. We want to be
Yeah.
healthy in emotionally and physically, even spiritually. Um, sorry, I'm really aware of the time. We can talk forever, you know. But yeah, you know, for those of you who are going to catch us on the replay, my guest here is Liz Walsh, and we've just been discussing her anxiety and depression, and also the relationship that she has with her father. You are still on your journey, and the good thing is that you're able to talk about it. Whereas I guess a few years ago, you know, you wouldn't be having this conversation.
Not at all.
So, exactly. And as you talk about it, for me, it was always cathartic. And I believe that will be the same for you, no matter how, you know, what strategies that you use. So for anyone out there, you know, let's just stop sweeping things under the carpet, because it will manifest itself in ways that you don't want to deal with, as Liz, you know, so nicely, not nicely, I don't know, you put it the right way, how it manifested itself, how, you know, all these issues that you had to deal with, how it made you feel emotionally and physically. Just stop sweeping things under the carpet. Let's have an open conversation, because there is no judgment. And you want to heal yourself. So for Liz, for anyone out there who may be experiencing the same thing as yourself, what would you say to them?
I would say, I mean, what's hugely helped me in the last 6 months is focusing on my inner self, focusing on my soul, what makes my soul happy, you know, trying to reconnect with my spiritual self. I've spent years working on my mind and my body, you know, health regimes and all sorts of things. But what's really starting to make me have a breakthrough is focusing on myself from a spiritual perspective. That's been huge for me. And just reach out, you know, I'm happy to, if anyone's been through a similar situation to me, for you to message me, and I can let you know what's helped for me. Just try and reach out to someone. If you don't feel you can reach out to a human being, if you feel very alone, then there are online communities. You've got forums for anxiety and that type of thing. But yeah, just reach out, just make that initial step. It really will help you.
Right, thank you so much for that. And that's absolutely right. Just reach out to somebody. I want to ask another question, but I'm so aware of the time. So yeah, so we're going to wrap up now. You're in a, so what, how would you say, how do you feel now at this precise moment in time? We can see you're in a much better place, but how do you feel now?
I feel much more in control now. You know, since I've taken the spiritual route, I've started connecting with groups like the Yes, You Can Be Inspired to Achieve. And that's been major, being surrounded by positive, beautiful people, supportive, genuine people is really helping me tremendously. And something, I was on a live with Bradley Chapman, the founder of Yes, You Can Be Inspired to Achieve recently, and he left me with the words, what other people think of you is none of your business. And that's really resonated with me.
Absolutely. And I say that all the time, and it's just so true. So if any of you want to be inspired, we have an event taking place in October, the 5th and 6th of October, at the Central Hall in Westminster. Early bird ticket starts from £47 and they increase. But what you will get is the opportunity to hear so many speakers. I won't name them because I'm aware of the time, but jump onto the website, get your ticket. The good thing is, if you want to bring children from the age of 5 to 11, they are free. £47 for 2 days to listen to some inspirational, inspiring millionaire speakers, and I'm sure you'll get something from that. So in closing, thank you so much, Liz, for joining me. I know that I can continue talking for ages because we didn't even cover what I wanted to cover. You know, we still had more to talk about, but maybe that's for another show. So thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you.
day. And for those on the replay, please do share, like, and comment. We really appreciate your shares, your likes, and your comment. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you,
Thanks, Liz.
Jacqueline. Bye.
Take care. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Just the last thing, please do share, like, and make a comment. And if anyone is going through any of these issues, contact, And if you want to be on my show, Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet, and you're dealing with something and it may be part of your healing process, please do join me. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.